Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Air King, reference 116900. You can see this 2016 to present Air King and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Air King. Now the Air King, previously a smaller timepiece, took a bit of a sabbatical from the Rolex catalog in the mid-2010s, being reborn at Baselworld 2016 as the charming and colorful character you see here on my wrist, designed to differentiate itself from the Explorer 1, the Oyster Perpetual 39, and the Milgauss. The watch does stand apart, having quite a good deal of color and distinction about its most unconventional quasi-explorer style dial. Let's talk about the fit and the feel. The watch is 40 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown. It's not terribly slim, but it's not terribly thick. 13.1 millimeters for a time-only watch with no date. The watch makes up some ground with its dramatically sloped conical bezel, such that I have full confidence it will slide not just underneath a suit jacket cuff, but underneath any dress sleeve. Now, from lug to lug, the watch measures a contemporary 49.5 millimeters, but I like to keep a watch under 50 millimeters for my wrist size because that ensures a perfect fit. And if you size down a little, if your wrist is 15, 14 centimeters in circumference, possibly even 13.5, the sub 50 lug to lug proportion will work well for you. I believe down to 13.5 centimeters in circumference, your wrist will wear this one with security and a handsome proportion. Now the timepiece is quite solid on the wrist. Modern Rolex watches feel like they're precious metal, simply because there is so much high-grade steel. You can see a solid caseback, far heftier than a sapphire, solid end links on both sides, solid center links, a full deployant clasp with a milled-out swing arm and a milled-out clasp body. Now let's dispel some myths about the Air King. One myth is that it is a entry-level Rolex. While it is more economically priced than others in the collection, it's important to draw distinctions between a true entry-level Rolex and what you see here. Satin finish on the tops of the lugs, or the links, I should say, of the bracelet, polished on the flank. Yes, that's consistent with Rolex's entry-level watches, as is the full satin finish, rather than a contrasting polished center on the clasp. But when you open the clasp, you see it's of a different grade of quality than a true entry-level Rolex clasp. Now here is a Oyster Perpetual 39. You'll note the Oyster Perpetual 39 features no easy link incremental adjustment, and the clasp is a little bit more rough-hewn in total. Here, the clasp is actually finished to a slightly higher degree, plus you get the Easy Link 5mm take-in, take-out tool-free adjustment. So again, there is a little bit of content here that represents a step up from the likes of the standard Oyster Perpetuals. The watch also features a handsome case that is, although perhaps super case in profile in as much as the ends of the lugs are squared off, nevertheless not quite as massive as the GMTs, the Sea Dwellers, and the Submariners. And in fact, if I can bring up a current generation Daytona and just depict them side by side, you can see how the lines of the lugs, though broader, are very much in keeping with the more fluid form of the Daytona than something like a contemporary GMT. So the watch does have an extra measure of elegance that gets lost in some of the super case rotating bezel pure sports watches. There is a versatility to this timepiece which has no date and no bezel, or at least rotating bezel I should say. So you can wear this beautifully balanced piece with a suit. Yes, it's a little bit livelier than your customary Rolex, with the full Arabics denoting the minutes around the dial and the splash of yellow and green, but this is hardly a Dadaist statement. It's still handsome, sober, and about as Teutonic as a watch made in Geneva can possibly be. Stolid and sensible, it features a high contrast dial that pays tribute to the aviation heritage of the Air King model, being legible at a glance and rendered in a rather more petite instrument style than the likes of IWC would tend to purvey. Nevertheless, the watch also features the emblematic Mercedes-style hour hand and the pencil-style minute hand that are associated with Rolex, so the brand DNA here is quite strong in spite of the simple instrument-style dial. Screwed-in case back helps to add to the heft of the case, and underneath is a Rolex manufacturer caliber 3131 automatic winding with a 48-hour power reserve. It's protected down to 100 meters, so this is an all-purpose watch for everyone but pro divers. Hacking or stop seconds when you pull the crown out. The watch has a very smooth bi-directional winding action that sets it apart from the modern generation of unidirectional winders, which tend to be a bit noisier and rougher on the wrist. This is quite refined. It also features a full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for durability and shock resistance, and a parachrom blue anti-magnetic Breguet over coil hairspring for resistance to magnetic fields you may find in proximity to, for instance, purse closures, wallet closures, high-powered wiring, or refrigerator doors, and the overcoil architecture giving the watch resistance to gravitationally induced timing deviation. That's the benefit of an overcoil structure. A well-made and tough in-house caliber in a well-made and elegant exterior design. This is the modern Rolex Air King reference 116900. See it and own it on our website.